How do you identify yourself?
I identify myself as a Black American. I always grew up calling myself an African American, but I don't know where I'm from in Africa. Considering that we were brought here, and then we have all these tests that want us to pay to tell us where we're from. I'm like, I feel like if you're a person of color, it should be free.
How do you identify yourself?
African American. I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Black American, but that's so limited.
Ethnically identify as a Black American or Afro American, specifically not an African American, because I feel like that strips away an identity from people who are of African descent.
I'm Black, like I'm very much so Black, but my culture, the way I think, the way I speak, my language, my food, my everyday is the life of a Haitian, but I'm still Black and living in America.
I identify as a Black Asian man.
Jamaican American. Both my parents were born and raised in the beautiful island of Jamaica, but I was born and raised here in America.
Haitian.
I identify as Afro-Caribbean.
I was born here in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, and I grew up in Jamaica.
Well, first and foremost, I identify as a Jamaican. As far as race goes, I always identify as Black ethnicity, Black from the Caribbean. So pretty much a Black Jamaican. However, I wouldn't necessarily identify myself as African. I would probably go with Jamaican before anything else.
How do you identify yourself culturally or ethnically?
African.
Period.
100%.
I am African, basically.
I've actually had that struggle, honestly, because I define myself as a Haitian American. But in my adulthood, I've been told that I'm not Haitian because I wasn't born in Haiti.
Haitian American.
Haitian American.
I know in the States, you have to pick between a category of Hispanics, non-Hispanics, Caucasian, white, Black/African.
First of all, I'm Haitian. That's the first thing I tell everybody. I've never really been ashamed to say that. Granted, it came with a lot of like bullying and a lot of backlash.
Well, I am Black American and I'm also Jamaican. My parents are from Jamaica and they're immigrants, but I was born in Miami. I'm Jamaican, basically like Jamaican and American.
I like how you put that together.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
I identify as Black. I identify as Nigerian.
You were born in Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay. What part of Nigeria?
Enugu. I grew up in the country Barbados, but I'm also Nigerian.
And in Nigeria, there are 3 ethnic tribes, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. And my culture is called Ahoda, which is one of like the smaller villages. But if I was to pick one of the 3 ethnic tribes to fall under, the closest would be Igbo.
In the United States, I definitely consider myself an American boy.
How do you feel as a Black man living in the States representing, for example, your bandana?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? Or what pushes you to do that?
I guess you could say my love for culture just comes from wanting to experience more than what I'm used to. So, for me, it was like, I want to see like what these people are like. I want to learn their languages. I want to get to know them, get to know their culture. And you start to really see just how diverse Black people all over the world really are. That makes you, I guess, want to see what you've been missing out on.
I identify as Hebrew because that's something that my ancestors were outside of slavery. Hebrew is the original language of the Bible, and I found that my faith in God is just so central to everything that I couldn't leave those words, such living words, in the hands of the colonizer, and then me expect to just be everything that God created me to do when somebody who's not following God is teaching me how to follow God. They're not even really teaching me, but it's like beating me and raping my mothers and my foremothers and ancestors and all kinds of things like that. That particular culture is spirituality. Like, it is a being. It's everything all in one.
Okay, so my family is from all over, mainly Jamaica, but my grandparents are from both sides, are from different countries. So I have Cuban in me, Irish, Indian, and German.
Haitian American, Bahamian, French in time with me, but I rep Haiti because I was born there, so raised in America, so
all right.
You can say I'm Haitian American, I guess. Yeah.
As number one, being Haitian, and also African because originally we're all from the motherland.
Well, I do identify as an African American in America, United States of America specifically.
My ancestors were brought here to the coast of Georgia, the Geechee Gullah people, and half of them still in Atlanta, half of them here. So I consider myself a straight, cisgender Black American.
So to identify myself, I would say that I was a Haitian American woman. I also think that I am of African descent, of course, and that ties in more with Haiti than anything else. And then I would also call myself Black, because that's just the easiest way to identify at times.
I identify myself as Black, but I do, I don't know how to put it in words, but I think a lot of my roots come from like the Caribbean side because I did grow up in Haiti. So I do identify myself as Black Caribbean.
Well, let me start by saying my perspective on myself changed recently. I used to sort of read up a lot about Black history, and I used to really feel on the Black empowerment movement. I used to feel like I had to be very strong, but now I think now I have a deeper understanding and reflection. I just see myself as just an individual, and I can walk in many circles.
I like to consider myself as a diverse person.
Well, do you feel like when you came to the States, did you feel any culture shock?
Yes.
How so?
Yes. First thing was I realized that people kind of clump Black or Blackness as being African American, and anyone else who is Black is either from the Caribbean or African. But I guess that was a culture shock because I'd always assumed that I was Black.
With white people, you can be Italian, and you can be French, you can be German, and that's 3 different experiences.
I feel like it's respected as a different thing.
Yeah.
In other countries, they specify what culture you are in the city. For example, if you go to UK, oh, he's Nigerian. But here in America, I just feel like you consider Black no matter what. You're from Ghana, Nigeria, anywhere in the world, you consider Black in America.
Growing up here as a Black individual and also growing up as a Black individual elsewhere, you have different cultures. I mean, when they ask me in surveys and stuff or in paperwork, are you African American? Check. Of course I'll check that. However, if there was like a Haitian American box, I would check that before I check African American, just because that's what I identify with.
With that identity effort, some people would say I'm not Jamaican because I wasn't born in that country. I know that's like not my nationality, but I identify as a Jamaican person.
Growing up in Fort Lauderdale, I celebrated so many different cultures. First, my own as a Black American, eating soul food, you know, just the family barbecues and so forth. But I grew up, next door neighbor was Jamaican. My best friend I grew up with, he's from Uruguay, and I grew up around, you know, Haitian Americans. I grew up around just a lot of different cultures. So definitely celebrating myself as a Black American, but I've experienced a lot of different cultures just being where I'm from.